Have you ever wondered if there are things you do, little habits that might have crept into your life over the years, that others notice but are just too polite, or maybe even too uncomfortable, to ever mention to you directly? It's a bit of a painful reality, isn't it? The thought that there might be something we're doing, something perhaps holding us back from truly shining, that we're completely unaware of. We all want to age with grace, with dignity, and with a zest for life. But sometimes, without realizing it, we develop patterns that don't quite serve us or present us in the best light. And often, those who care about us the most are the very ones who struggle to bring it up. They don't want to hurt our feelings. They don't want to make us feel bad. But their silence means we miss out on an opportunity to make a small, positive change. In this video, we're going to bravely explore 5 common areas where these subtle shifts can occur in later life. These aren't criticisms, I promise you, but rather gentle observations and, most importantly, incredibly practical, easy to implement solutions that can make a world of difference to how you feel, how others perceive you, and ultimately, how much joy you experience every single day. We're talking about simple shifts in routine, small conscious efforts, and a renewed focus on self-care that will empower you to live your most vibrant, confident life. And trust me, you'll want to watch all the way to the end for something that will truly surprise you. Let's dive right into the first area that sometimes, just sometimes, can become a little bit of a blind spot for us as we navigate the later stages of life. And that's what I gently call the forgotten scent. Now, this isn't about being unhygienic in a broad sense. Not at all. It's far more subtle and deeply connected to the natural changes our bodies undergo. As we age, our skin becomes drier, our sweat glands can become less active, and crucially, our sense of smell can diminish. This means that we might not notice certain things about ourselves that others, with their keen senses, might pick up on. Maybe it's a lingering scent on clothes that have been worn a few times, a faint body odor that wasn't there in our younger years, or even a less than fresh breath that we're simply unaware of. It's a common, completely natural phenomenon, and absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about. But it's something that can subtly affect how comfortable we feel in social situations and how others perceive our overall well-being. The good news is, understanding why this happens is the first step towards a simple, elegant solution. Our skin, for instance, changes significantly. It loses elasticity, becomes thinner, and produces less oil. This can lead to a buildup of dead skin cells that can contribute to a different kind of scent. Add to that the fact that showering might become less frequent for some. Perhaps there's a fear of slipping in the tub, or simply the effort feels more taxing. This isn't about laziness. It's about navigating physical limitations and sometimes just plain forgetting to make hygiene a priority in the hustle and bustle of daily life, especially if we're not going out much. So, how do we address the forgotten scent with grace and ease? It starts with mindful self-care routines tailored to our changing bodies. Firstly, consider your showering habits. Instead of thinking of it as a strenuous task, reframe it as a refreshing act of self-love. If fear of falling is an issue, invest in simple safety measures, a non-slip mat, grab bars in the shower, or even a shower chair can make a world of difference. Turning a stressful experience into a relaxing one, you might find that gentle. Moisturizing soaps are better for your drier skin than harsh, stripping cleansers. Look for unscented or lightly scented options to avoid overwhelming fragrances that can sometimes mix unpleasantly with natural body odors. And remember to gently cleanse all areas, especially those often overlooked like behind the ears, the navel, and between toes, which can harbor moisture and bacteria, even on days you don't fully shower. A quick freshen-up routine can be incredibly effective. A warm washcloth for the armpits, groin area, and feet can make you feel much cleaner and more confident. Keep pre-moistened wipes or adult wipes handy for these quick refreshes. Beyond personal washing, consider your laundry habits. Clothes, especially those worn close to the body, absorb skin oils and odors. Even if a garment doesn't look dirty, it can hold on to subtle smells, Make it a habit to change and wash clothes frequently, particularly underwear, socks, and any garments that have been worn for a full day. If you find yourself wearing the same sweater or trousers repeatedly for comfort, establish a rotation. Perhaps have 2 or 3 favorites that you alternate and wash regularly. For those items that are difficult to wash often, like a favorite jacket, consider fabric refreshers or simply airing them out outdoors on a breezy day. Don't forget about your dental hygiene either. Dry mouth. A common side effect of some medications can contribute to bad breath. Regular brushing, flossing, and using an alcohol-free mouthwash are essential. Staying hydrated by sipping water throughout the day can also help keep your mouth moist and fresh. And if you're concerned, talk to your dentist about specific dry mouth products or techniques. The key here is consistency and adaptation. It's not about being obsessive, but about being aware and making small, manageable adjustments to your routine. These changes aren't just for others, they're for you. Feeling fresh and clean boosts your own confidence, makes you more comfortable in your skin, and allows you to engage with the world more freely and happily. When you feel good about how you present yourself, it naturally radiates outwards, inviting more positive interactions and reinforcing that wonderful sense of self-respect. Now that we've talked about refreshing our physical presence, let's turn our attention to something a little less tangible but equally important, what I call the rewind button. Have you ever found yourself, or perhaps observed in others, a tendency to repeat stories? It's a common pattern in later life, where a beloved anecdote, a significant memory, or even a recent event gets retold, sometimes multiple times, to the same people. On one hand, these stories are often cherished glimpses into our past, a way to connect and share our rich experiences. But when they become a frequent recurrence, it can sometimes lead to listeners feeling a little, well, like they're stuck on a loop. It's not out of malice, or even necessarily a sign of serious memory decline for everyone. Often, it stems from a deep human need to connect, to be heard, to share a piece of our identity. Sometimes, it's simply a genuine lapse in memory where we forget that we've already shared that particular tale with that particular person. Other times, it might be a way to fill silence, or a comfort in recounting familiar narratives in an ever-changing world. The problem, if we can call it that, arises when it unintentionally creates a barrier rather than a bridge, when conversations become predictable, and the people around us subtly begin to disengage because they already know the punchline. This can lead to a sense of isolation for everyone involved, as the opportunity for new, dynamic conversation dwindles. So, how do we gently nudge ourselves away from constantly hitting the rewind button, and instead open up new channels for engaging interaction? The solution lies in fostering a continuous curiosity and embracing novelty. Our brains thrive on new information and challenges, regardless of age. One fantastic way to keep the conversational wellspring fresh is to actively seek out new experiences, no matter how small. Pick up a new hobby, even something simple like birdwatching, knitting, or learning a few phrases in a new language. Join a local club or a book group. Visit a museum you've never been to, or explore a different part of your town. Even trying a new recipe or watching a documentary on a topic you know nothing about can provide a fresh perspective and, most importantly, new material for conversation. When you have new experiences, you have new stories to tell, new insights to share, and new questions to ask. Another powerful tool is active listening. Instead of waiting for your turn to speak or to launch into a familiar tale, truly engage with what the other person is saying. Ask open-ended questions that encourage them to elaborate. Show genuine interest in their lives, their experiences, and their thoughts. You might be surprised by the richness of the stories they have to share, and by doing so, you create a more balanced, dynamic exchange. This also helps you remember what you've already shared with them. Before you start a story, take a brief moment to consider, have I told Sarah this one before? It's a simple mental check that can prevent repetition. Journaling can also be a wonderful outlet. If you have a powerful memory or a beloved story that you feel compelled to share, write it down. This acts as a release, allowing you to process and express it without needing to vocalize it repeatedly. You can even read from your journal to a loved one, making it a fresh and intentional sharing experience. Ultimately, the goal is not to stop sharing our past. Our memories are precious, but to ensure we're also creating new ones, staying present and engaging with the world around us with an open mind and a fresh perspective. When we do this, our conversations become vibrant tapestries woven with threads of both cherished past and exciting present, making us more captivating companions and fostering deeper, more meaningful connections. Speaking of engaging with the world, let's address another pattern that can sometimes emerge, which I call the complaining cloud. Now, we all have our moments, don't we? Days when nothing seems to go right, when aches and pains feel louder, or when the news simply seems too bleak. And it's perfectly healthy to vent occasionally, to share our frustrations with a trusted friend. But the complaining cloud is different. It's when grumbling becomes a default setting, a constant undercurrent to nearly every conversation. It's the tendency to focus on what's wrong, what's difficult, what hurts, or what's missing, to the exclusion of all else. People stuck in this cloud might frequently criticize the weather, the government, the younger generation, their health, their food, or even the slow service at a restaurant, often without offering any constructive thoughts or seeking solutions. And while it's understandable that later life can bring its share of challenges, physical discomfort, loss, changes in independence, dwelling constantly in negativity can push people away. It becomes exhausting for listeners who might feel helpless or drained. And eventually, they might start to avoid interactions, leaving the person under the complaining cloud feeling even more isolated and misunderstood. This isn't about being unfeeling to the realities of aging. It's about acknowledging that a persistent negative outlook impacts not just our own well-being, but also the quality of our relationships. It can obscure the many blessings and joys that still exist, making it harder for us to see and appreciate them. So, how do we dissipate the complaining cloud and cultivate a more positive, uplifting presence? The first step is self-awareness. Simply recognizing that this pattern might be creeping into your conversations is a huge leap forward. Once you're aware, you can begin to make conscious choices. A powerful antidote to constant complaining is the practice of gratitude. It sounds simple, almost cliché, but its power is profound. Make it a daily habit to identify at least 3 things you are grateful for, no matter how small. It could be the warmth of your morning tea, a comfortable chair, a phone call from a loved one, or the sunshine streaming through your window. Regularly acknowledging these small blessings helps retrain your brain to look for the good, shifting your focus away from what's wrong. Another crucial element is addressing the root causes of the complaining. If it's physical pain, make sure you're working with your doctor to manage it effectively. Unaddressed discomfort can understandably lead to irritability. If it's loneliness or boredom, seek out new connections and activities. As we discussed earlier, finding purpose, even a small one, like volunteering, learning a new skill, or nurturing a plant, can bring a sense of meaning and satisfaction that leaves less room for complaint. When you do find yourself about to voice a complaint, try a little mental pause. Ask yourself, is this something I can change? Is there a solution to this problem? Or am I simply venting? If it's something you can change, then focus your energy on finding a solution rather than just stating the problem. If it's simply venting, try to limit it to a trusted close friend and make sure it's balanced with other, more positive topics. Challenge yourself to find the silver lining, even in difficult situations. For instance, instead of saying, "The doctor's office wait was so long and frustrating," you might rephrase it as, "The wait was long, but it gave me a chance to finish reading that interesting article I brought." This isn't about ignoring problems, but about actively seeking out perspective and resilience. Engage in activities that bring you joy and laughter. Watch a funny movie, listen to uplifting music, or spend time with people who have a positive outlook. Their energy can be contagious. Remember, cultivating a positive outlook isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about actively choosing where to place your focus and recognizing that even in the face of challenges, there is always something to appreciate, something to learn, and something to smile about. This shift not only improves your own mood, but also makes you a more cherished and sought-after presence in the lives of those around you. Building on that idea of presenting our best selves and fostering positive interactions, let's consider what I call it the time warp wardrobe. This isn't just about fashion trends. It's about a subtle shift that can happen as we age, where personal appearance might gradually slide down the priority list. Perhaps we gravitate towards comfort above all else, choosing the same worn-out garments day after day, regardless of the occasion. Or maybe we stick to styles that were popular decades ago, not out of nostalgic charm, but simply because we haven't updated our perspective or our closet. The time warp wardrobe isn't about vanity. It's about how our outward appearance impacts our inner feelings and how others perceive our engagement with life. When we neglect our appearance, even unintentionally, it can send signals to ourselves and others that we've lost interest, that we're less vibrant, or perhaps even that we're not well. This can lead to a dip in self-esteem and confidence, and it can also subtly influence how others approach us, potentially leading them to make assumptions about our mental or physical state that aren't true. It's a missed opportunity to express our personality and vitality. Physical limitations, such as difficulty with buttons or zippers, or a lack of energy for choosing outfits, can also play a role, making dressing well feel like a chore rather than a pleasure. So, how do we update the time warp wardrobe and reclaim our personal style with ease and confidence? The key is to find a balance between comfort and contemporary appeal. Start by decluttering your closet. Get rid of anything that's stained, torn, ill-fitting, or that genuinely makes you feel dowdy. Be honest with yourself if you haven't worn something in a year or two, and it doesn't hold significant sentimental value. It might be time for it to go. Next, think about comfortable yet stylish options. Fabrics like soft cotton, linen blends, and comfortable knits are wonderful. Look for clothing with elastic waistbands, pull-on styles, or magnetic fasteners if buttons or zippers are a struggle. There are many adaptive clothing options available now that are both practical and fashionable. The goal is ease, not effort. Invest in a few key pieces that are versatile and can be mixed and matched. A well-fitting pair of dark trousers or jeans, a few comfortable but smart tops in flattering colors, and a nice cardigan or jacket can form the basis of many outfits. Don't be afraid of color as we age. Our skin tone can change, and sometimes brighter. Richer colors can truly light up our faces. A splash of a vibrant scarf or a statement necklace can instantly elevate a simple outfit. Consider your footwear too. Comfortable. Supportive shoes are paramount for safety and mobility, but they don't have to be bland. Look for stylish sneakers, supportive flats, or low-heeled boots that offer both comfort and a touch of modern flair. Finally, make dressing a small ritual of self-care, even if you're just staying home. Choosing an outfit that makes you feel good can boost your mood significantly. It's not about being extravagant or spending a lot of money. It's about intentionality. Taking a few moments each day to choose something that is clean, comfortable, and presentable is an act of self-respect. It says, I care about myself, and I'm ready to engage with the day. This simple act can have a ripple effect, improving your posture, your confidence, and how you interact with the world. When you feel good about how you look, it's like putting on a suit of armor that helps you face any challenges with a renewed sense of purpose and zest. It's a powerful way to communicate your vitality and continued engagement with life without saying a single word. And finally, let's talk about what I call the stubborn stance. This isn't about being pig-headed or difficult, but rather a pattern that can emerge in later life where there's a strong resistance to change, a deep comfort in the familiar, and sometimes an unwillingness to embrace new ideas, new technologies, or new ways of doing things. It might manifest as dismissing anything modern, clinging tightly to routines, or refusing to learn new skills, even if they would make life easier or more enriching. Think about the common aversion to smartphones or computers. the insistence on doing things the old way, or a reluctance to try new foods or travel to unfamiliar places. While a sense of continuity and tradition is valuable, a rigid, stubborn stance can lead to isolation. The world keeps evolving, and when we refuse to evolve with it, even in small ways, we can find ourselves increasingly disconnected from friends, family, and the broader society. It can limit our opportunities for learning, growth, and joy, and sometimes it can even lead to unnecessary frustration or dependence on others. The underlying reasons for this resistance are often rooted in fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of being overwhelmed, or even a sense of being left behind. It's a protective mechanism, but it can inadvertently become a cage. So, how do we soften the stubborn stance and cultivate a mindset of gentle adaptability and lifelong learning? The antidote is curiosity and a willingness to take small, manageable steps outside our comfort zones. Start with something simple. If technology feels daunting, pick one small thing you'd like to learn, like how to send a text message to a grandchild, or how to video call a friend. Ask a patient family member or a local library staff member for help. Don't try to master everything at once. Celebrate each tiny victory. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. The joy of connection that technology can bring, especially in later life, is immense. Reducing loneliness and opening up new worlds beyond technology. Challenge yourself to try one new thing each week or month. It doesn't have to be monumental. It could be trying a new fruit or vegetable at the grocery store, listening to a different genre of music, reading a book by an author you've never heard of, or taking a different route on your daily walk. These small novelties keep our brains active and our perspectives fresh. Engage in discussions with people who hold different viewpoints than your own. Instead of shutting down opposing opinions, listen with an open mind. You don't have to agree, but understanding different perspectives broadens your own. This can prevent you from becoming entrenched in a single way of thinking and makes you a more interesting and empathetic conversationalist. Consider joining a class or a group that focuses on learning something new, whether it's art, history, or a practical skill. The social interaction combined with mental stimulation is incredibly beneficial. Reframe change not as a threat, but as an opportunity. As we get older, change is inevitable, whether it's in our health, our living situation, or the world around us. By practicing adaptability in small ways, we build resilience to face larger changes with more grace and less anxiety. This isn't about abandoning your core values or who you are. It's about embracing the idea that growth and learning are lifelong journeys. It's about staying relevant, curious, and open to the incredible possibilities that still exist at every age. When we let go of the need for everything to stay exactly the same, we unlock a freedom to truly live and embrace the richness of our unfolding lives. We've gently explored these 5 common patterns that, while completely understandable and human, can sometimes unknowingly hold us back from our fullest, most vibrant selves. We talked about refreshing our physical presence and making sure our self-care routines are adapted to our changing bodies. We looked at how staying curious and seeking new experiences can help us move beyond repeating old stories, enriching our conversations and connections. We discussed the powerful shift from a complaining cloud to a mindset of gratitude and problem-solving, enhancing our own mood and the enjoyment of those around us. We touched on the simple yet profound impact of tending to our time-warp wardrobe, ensuring our outward presentation reflects the vibrant spirit within. And finally, we just talked about loosening the stubborn stance, embracing curiosity and adaptability to stay connected and continuously grow in an ever-evolving world. Remember, none of this is about judgment or pointing fingers. It's about self-awareness, about giving ourselves permission to notice these subtle shifts, not with criticism, but with compassion and a desire for continuous improvement. These aren't about grand gestures or radical overhauls. They are about small, mindful adjustments, tiny conscious choices that accumulate into a profound positive impact on your life. Each little step you take, whether it's choosing a new outfit, trying a different route home, or simply pausing before a habitual complaint, is an act of self-love and self-empowerment. It's a declaration that you value your well-being, your relationships, and your journey through life. Imagine the freedom that comes with feeling fresh and confident, the joy of engaging in vibrant new conversations, the lightness of a positive outlook, the boost of feeling stylish and put together, and the excitement of lifelong learning. These aren't just fixes for what others might notice. They are keys to unlocking a deeper sense of contentment and joy for yourself. Your later years can, and should be, a time of profound fulfillment, connection, and continued growth. So, I encourage you, gently and with kindness, to pick just one area we discussed that resonates with you today. Take that first small step. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes. Don't forget to share your thoughts, your own experiences, or any tips you have in the comments below. We're a community here, and your insights are valuable to us all. If you found this video helpful and encouraging, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content designed to help you live your best life at every age.